Thanks for joining me for my Facebook Live. I'm Joel Gandara, coming to you from sunny South Florida, and I'm outside and enjoying it because today it is about 70 degrees, and that's very rare for us in the morning, especially in October, where we're normally already 79, 80 degrees. So we've got a cold front coming through, so I'm enjoying this. All righty, let's I'll share with you that something happens as you get older. And if you're not a big technology person, every time you got to do a Facebook Live, it's a mission. I usually end up messaging Sean Thomas and saying, Sean, freaking out. I can't get on here. I don't know what happened. But yeah, I had to do that last night because I couldn't get on here. He showed me I had to update my Chrome browser. It's updated. And now I got in here. So and Facebook doesn't help because every time I go in here, they move buttons around, I think, just to undermine me and stress me out. All right, let's jump into the questions. The first one is, I always do this. I forget to introduce myself. I don't know if you guys, there's always new people, so I'll let you know. I'm an entrepreneur. I own apparel brands, e-commerce websites. We have 14 Shopify Plus websites. I have a fulfillment center based in South Florida. Um, I own those businesses. I don't have partners in them, but I have people who help run them and really run them better than I do. So kind of retired when I was 38 and wasn't doing too much. And I was mentoring here and there, and Sean Thomas got me into AO as a mentor. And since then, he helped me get started on a coaching business. And now I keep busy by coaching entrepreneurs. In fact, this morning just had a, a Google Meets out here with a 20 something guys. We put together a group of guys that are challenging themselves physically and trying to get to the next level and becoming better men. So I really enjoy helping and giving back to the world in that way. That's what I do. That's who I am. And let's jump into the questions. The first one is from Rohit Gupta. How do I determine prices for my products? We are an exotic snacks and drinks business. We sell snacks and drinks from around the world. For example, Fanta from Japan or China. Right now, we are only e-commerce. We are getting a brick and mortar store in December. Our product ranges from 50 cents to $15 to cover rent, utilities, etc. for brick and mortar stores. Does it make sense to increase prices or keep them where they are? Um, so First of all, I think it's cool to have unique international items. I've always found that fascinating that you could go to Atlanta to the Coca-Cola experience or whatever it's called, and you can taste like, I don't know, 100, 200 different types of sodas, and every country has their own types of flavors. So we're not all drinking the same thing. We're not all eating the same thing. I mean, I don't drink soda, but for those who do. So I find that fascinating, and that's great that you can do this with e-commerce because maybe you introduce people to something. Maybe you can, on e-commerce, you can get them into a subscription where every month they're going to receive a different soda from all around the world. I think that's pretty unique. I like the unique side of that. I'll tell you the only things that worry me about a business like this. You are always going to be selling someone else's product. And what does that mean? That if I wanted to compete with you, I could go buy Fanta from Japan or China or, you know, Ghana or whatever sodas they have everywhere else, I could do that too. So you don't own a brand, so you got to be careful with that. The other thing, when I hear of a store, a physical store, see, I own 14 e-commerce stores, plus I'm on most marketplaces with my products. But I don't have a physical store, and I've contemplated it over and over. My problem is that you're limited to a geographic region. It's just the people in that area. So here's my thought. When someone's on vacation, they're more likely to spend more. They're more intrigued by unique items like this because it's different. If I live in the neighborhood and I see that you have the unique sodas after I've walked by 30 times, it's not unique to me anymore. I go, yeah, that's the place with the unique stuff. But if I'm a tourist and I walk by and I go, look at that, I've never seen a store that does that. So what I'm trying to say is if you're in a high traffic area of new people, I think that's where it really would do well. This weekend, I spent time with an owner of a very large amusement park within a big warehouse. I mean, massive though, hundreds of thousands of square feet. And he told me that he also owns an arcade company. And I asked him about arcade. Is that is that a good business still when kids have phones with their games on it? And he said it's really good because it's all in Orlando, Florida. So it's in the hotels, it's in places where it's all new people every single day walking through, right? Because imagine it's not like in the 80s and 90s, I can tell you, especially in the 80s, I remember you'd go to the mall and there'd be arcade machines, and that was the thing to do. But if they didn't rotate those machines out, people got bored of it. But if you're in a high traffic tourist area where it's new people every day, you don't have to worry about rotating. You could keep that same Coca-Cola Fanta or Fanta from Japan in the same spot on your shelf, and it's always going to be unique. You don't have to keep reinventing yourself. So keep that in mind. I think this could have potential, but in my opinion, I think it would be in a best suited, not just high traffic, but high traffic with new eyeballs every single day. And I did not answer your question about the pricing. You probably will need to charge more in a physical location because you're going to see your expenses are way higher. I don't have 14 physical stores. I have 14 e-commerce stores. My rent for all of them is under $6,000 a month. If I had one store, my rent would be more than 6,000. So absolutely, you need to pay for those employees to keep the lights on, the rent, the utilities. It's a lot more expensive square footage in a commercial setting than it is, or commercial like a retail setting than it is in a warehouse setting. Good luck with that, Rohit. Josh, I always wonder if I pronounce this right. Is it Sierra Mitaro? Looks Italian, and I hope I said it right. As an e-commerce and as an Amazon e-commerce FBA reseller, does it make sense to go through a whole branding and website exercise? So what he's saying there, he sells on Amazon and it's FBA, fulfillment by Amazon. That means that Josh is taking his products and sending them to Amazon, and they're doing all the fulfillment for him, which is different than if he had his own website and he had his warehouse and he's shipping the items. Which, by the way, for those that don't know, you could have an Amazon store and not send the products to Amazon. You could do the shipments every day. That's what we do. We ship 7 days a week on orders that come from Amazon, or people are buying on Amazon, but we're doing the fulfillment. So there's both ways you can do that. There's a description. Intensify is an online e-commerce business. We sell strictly through Amazon and are wondering the value of undergoing a full-on branding exercise and standing up a website. Interested in hearing opinions on what value we can gain from developing a brand when the majority of Amazon users have no idea who they are purchasing from. FYI, we are not housing products. All items are sent directly to Amazon. All right. So, excuse me, that's the problem with a live. You got to sneeze, you got to do it right on the camera. All right. So, Josh, you know, ask everybody. Keep asking for opinions like this. You're going to get my point of view. You're going to get each person's point of view from their experience. I sell on Amazon. We're not a massive Amazon seller. I think maybe this year we'll do 500,000. It's not a big source of revenue for us, but it is a good place to be. Undoubtedly, they take a big commission, but they get you traffic, and that's fantastic. And as I said earlier, we fulfill our own Amazon just because we have our fulfillment center and we do very well with that, and we can run it very lean. But as far as having your own website, for me, it's a no-brainer. It's how else are you going to own your customer? Otherwise, you're just working for Amazon in the big scheme of things. Because if I sell these phones and everybody has access to these phones and I put them on Amazon and you put them on Amazon, what are we really doing? We are working. And I started when I was young in a flea market. That's how I used to sell my products to people. And that's the way I would see it. Imagine a flea market and you have a booth there selling something, and I have a booth right down the row selling the exact same things as you, right? Um, I don't own my products. I don't own that brand. I'm just selling Samsung or Apple phones, right? And you're selling the exact same thing. Now, what are we doing? We're fighting for pennies because we're all in the same flea market. People are going to walk by and see us all. That's exactly, to me, what Amazon is. Obviously, much more high tech and better than a flea market. You don't have to sit in the sun all day, but it's very similar. Now, imagine that you go and have your own stand-up store across the street from the flea market, and it's its own store. And people walk by and go, oh, let me check this one out. Now, you got to get people into your store. You got to invest in SEO. You got to differentiate yourself. You got to sell products that not everybody else has, because the last thing I would want is for somebody to see my product and then do what's next. When they see your product online, they're going to go to Google or they're going to go to Amazon. Those are where most searches start. And they're going to look for it and see if they can compare it. See, the beauty of what I like, what I do is I have trademarks. These are my products. I design, I don't, but my team designs them, manufactures them, warehouses, sells them. And if you want to compare, you see one of my items on one of my websites and you Google it, you go to Amazon, everywhere that you see it, those are probably websites that I own. If you see it on Etsy, on eBay, on Walmart, on Amazon, those are me. They're all mine. I'm selling the exact same thing. Now, one website today may have a discount. The other one may have a higher price today. The other one may have a deal that if you buy two, you get another one. It's all competition, but they're all mine, right? So I like playing it that way because think of it this way. In the old days, you had a castle and you want to protect that another kingdom doesn't attack you. So what do? You're going to put soldiers on the top with bows and arrows, right? You're going to dig a very deep moat around your castle, as deep as you can. You're going to fill it with water so they can't cross over. You're going to put a drawbridge so you can get control the access in and out. In that moat with the water around, you're going to put alligators, right? So that they'll eat anybody who tries to swim in. That's how I like to look at a business. I want it to get to a certain point of profitability and income and lifestyle that it gives me. And then how do I protect it? In my case, I protect it by buying competitors' businesses, bringing them all in and making my little castle stronger. But I really think about protecting. And if you could think about that early, I think you'll save yourself trouble because again, on Amazon, people are selling. I see a lot of people selling the exact same thing, fighting for the buy box and just trying to beat each other by a penny. And then they don't have a side business. So I don't know of anyone in my world who regrets having their own e-commerce business, selling their own products. And once you have that, guess what? You can go on Amazon. You could still go that way, but it's not easy to go the other way. But if you could build up both, highly recommend it. All right, Stella. And the last name, I never know how to pronounce this one. I see it. She's my Facebook friend. Njezic. I'm going to guess it's Jezik, and maybe it's a silent N. Stella has a beautiful line of sportswear, yoga type pants and workout pants. Absolutely beautiful. Her photography on Facebook that I've seen is fantastic. Question from Stella is, if it is not only paid ads and email marketing, what else do you think I could do so more people find out about my brand? I own a small sportswear brand in Croatia that has been on the market for 18 months. I run ads and have a new email marketing strategy. What else can I do to reach new buyers? Stella, I like SEO, investing in SEO. For the last 10 years or so, I've been spending on average about $8,000 a month on SEO. It's about $100,000 a year. Search engine optimization is what SEO is. And what it does is when people are searching for certain terms, you're going to come up on page one of Google, which is very valuable. And how do we track that? We're writing articles and doing things to move our placement in Google's eyes so that they see, oh, they're the authority for this term, and we start moving up. And we track those words. If we're in the 30-second space, Google number one result, number two, number three, number four. If we're number 32 on yoga pants, well, we want to move to 31, and we track it over months, and you get to see over the years how we've been working to get it better. You don't have to spend a lot. You can start with a little bit and pick your most profitable search terms, or what are people coming in and buying using what terms, and that move that up and improve on it. So that's SEO. I like texting. We use a texting service. We obviously use email. We use Klaviyo for that. But if you could SMS text customers, and the way we capture them on that is when they visit the site, we say, enter your email address for a 20% coupon emailed to you instantly. And they'll do that. Now they're in our marketing funnel for emails. We email every day on 3 of our websites. We email once or twice or 3 times a week on different websites. Texting we'll do twice a week on our big websites, and that people can unsubscribe anytime, but the ones who stay are the loyal ones that we want to keep as customers, and that's really what we want. We don't want every customer. We want the loyal ones that are going to just keep coming back and they're addicted to our products. I'll share another thing. People talk about influencers. We're testing a new strategy now that a friend of mine who he does several hundred million per year in selling products. We spent time at a conference this week, and it's somebody that I coached for about a year. So we have a very good relationship, and he shared something with me that's been working tremendously well for him. And I'm going to probably butcher it and just simplify it, but it's finding influencers, paying for the ads for that influencer so that there's an ad campaign paid by you, and people are going to this influencer, is very important in your industry, and landing to their landing page. But that landing page it's about them and it's about you, but you're paying for it. But they like it because that influencer is getting all these new impressions for free that you're paying for, right? So now they're going to work for you. And when they get there, they're going to be pushing with video We're going to be pushing a video about, guys, I have the most amazing deal I could ever offer you. You've got to click here to see the video where I'm going to tell you where it is, what it is, right? Again, this is a proven process that my friend's been doing over and over and over with all his brands, and he's crushing it. People click on it, guess what? They're now on your landing page, not just your general website, but a landing page within your site that you've created for this. And that's where that influencer is bringing all his people or her people and saying, all right, good, you're done. You've done what you're supposed to do. You went from that, now you're here. Thanks for finishing the journey. We are offering you, and this is where you plug in your offer, and your offer has to be ridiculously good. So the way we're doing it, it depends on your product pricing, your margins, all of this stuff. I know your prices are more expensive than the items that I sell, so you got to be careful with this. But we've done something similar, but we've done like get 30% off, and we thought that was phenomenal. It's not a good offer. It's not good enough. So what we're going to do, I sell in large part underwear. What we're going to do is when people land there, they're going to be offered free underwear, 100% free. They get to pick one. Now, I get to choose what they are. So we'll look at older items that we're trying to get rid of that we're liquidating anyway, but that we have full size runs. We have all the small, medium, large, extra large. So it's a good experience when they get there. They can pick their size, their color, all of that. And there's going to be all these free products to choose from. They just have to pay the shipping. I can do that because in my world, that underwear might cost me $350, maybe, yeah, $350, but I'll sell it for $15. So now they're getting a free $15 underwear. They're going to pay the shipping, which is $6. That might cost me $350 to ship, but $6 came in, so I got $250 to cover the underwear. I might lose a dollar, right? Um, but the beauty for me is that now we've caught that customer. We've got their email, we've got their text. We're so confident in our products because we see the lifetime value of every customer that we know they're going to buy. We have thousands of people in our database that have bought over $1,000. We're so confident that they're going to come back. If you're confident in your product, you can afford to do something like this. Sorry, let me plug in my laptop. If you feel that you have such a good product that they're going to keep coming back, why not give them a free product one time? Where hopefully with the shipping and all of that, you can hopefully get close to covering it. Again, athletic pants, I know they're way more expensive. You probably can't give it away for free, but maybe it's buy one get two free, whatever it is. It's all about that offer that you make that initial time, and that's your investment. Because the money that you're going to spend, you're going to pay the influencer, you're going to pay some of their ads, but then you got to do you got to give away something to the final consumer. I'll let you know if you want to check in with me in 3 months. I'll let you know how it's going. We're already building our first campaign with the first uh, influencer set of influencers, and so we should have some data on that. All right, Stella has another question, and I love these type because this one's not necessarily a business question. It could apply to business, but her question is, what tips can you share on making afternoon work more productive? I own a small sportswear brand in Croatia and I work as a personal trainer. Afternoons always seem to slip away without much work getting done. By implementing, which habits can I improve? So, Stella, I would ask, sometimes I really wish these were live one on ones in front of everyone so we could do kind of like a one on one coaching and have everybody view so you can see how each of these mentors do it. This is how I coach. I ask a lot of questions. So, my questions would start in the I'd ask everything. But one of them is, what are you feeling in those afternoons? Are you feeling tired? Are you feeling, because you're obviously not getting as much done. You're not as productive, but is it an inside feeling? Are you worn out? Do you need a nap? Um, I don't like taking naps, but if necessary, sometimes you come out of it and you're better, even if it's a 10-minute nap. I literally have sometimes taken a 10-minute nap and I feel amazing when I wake up and then I'm more productive. But that's only if I slept like 4 or 5 hours that night and I've been busy. So that's part of it. I would then question nutrition. Um, Something I learned recently from a doctor that I follow on YouTube is that some people have an afternoon crash. They feel really tired in the afternoon and then they're less productive, they're sleepy. And he said the reason that that happens oftentimes is because people are having coffee too early in the morning and they're not allowing their body to wake up naturally. So because they're artificially drinking, caffeine that they're intaking, that spikes them up, but then they crash in the afternoon. So rather, if you can wait 90 minutes after waking up, your body will wake itself up slowly, takes you maybe 90 minutes, and then have caffeine. Now you can maintain it for the rest of the day. So that's one thing. The other one is vitamins and supplements. I take 10 pills every night, and they're all supplements. Help me sleep better, help me feel better, help me think better, and that keeps me more productive. Now, those are like medical, physical things. The other ones are just questioning, what are you doing with your time? What's happening in the afternoon? Are you on social media? Are you sitting in front of a TV? Are you chit-chatting with friends? What are you doing and what would you like to get done? So for me, productivity comes from scheduling. I schedule everything I do. And I probably, and sorry that I keep moving this laptop around. It's the cable that I plugged in. So I've probably shown you guys this on the screen before. Let me open up my calendar. And I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but here's my calendar. And every one of these, let me go back to the camera so I can see myself. I'm going to show you what my calendar looks like. This is, every one of those is an activity. And if you see my day, I'm going to have one hand here, I can't scroll, but if you see my day, it's full of that. It's it's constant activities. It's all scheduled. And some of those activities are not just places I need to be or phone calls I need to make, but rather thoughts I need to have. Joel, think about this. And it might pop up once a week. It repeats to myself to tell me to think about something or uh, give something some thought. That stuff is a game changer for me. It's super important to live a scheduled life. It's done wonders for me. Now let's get back to these questions. Give me a moment. All right, Stella, I hope that helps. Feel free to write me, kind of answer some of those questions that I asked, and then maybe from there I can give you a little bit better feedback. Eric Blandino, do I need? Oh, okay. So I don't know if I'm reading it right. Do I need, and what are pros and cons of having both personal and/or business credit as a business owner? And how could I use credit for my benefit? I haven't owned a credit card since 1998. I have bootstrapped my business from the beginning. If I need to buy a vehicle, equipment, materials, coaching, or invest in a new team member, I need to make sales and save. If I don't have the money, then I can't afford it, is the mentality I was raised with. At what point in the entrepreneurial journey is credit recommended to grow a business? How does one utilize credit for growth? We're currently at 400,000 a year in revenue, and what perks could I benefit by using credit cards or lines of credit? We're in the business of giving people their homes back from the invasion of rats. Rats. So Eric uh, kills rats or removes them. No, right. He doesn't kill them. He removes them from homes, I think is his thing. So Eric, there's a difference between using credit and and being in debt. I just want to be clear. I've used millions of dollars in credit cards. Millions. I spend I don't know. Sometimes I've seen the bill like $70,000 for the month on my credit card. One credit card, one business card. Then I have personal cards and other businesses that have credit cards. So in a month, I might spend $100,000 on a credit card. Guess how much interest I've ever paid? Zero. Guess how much debt I have? Zero. Personal or business. I don't have a mortgage. I don't have car payments. My business doesn't have debt. So you're talking to somebody very responsible with his finances. I think I am. However, I put everything on a credit card. Why? Because I get back either 1% cash or 2, 3% credits toward other things. They could be trips, they could be discounts at Costco, whatever it is. Um, you have probably left on the table tens of thousands of dollars since 1998 when you had a credit card that would have been free money in your pocket. I mean, you just get an American Express or a Discover card that just gives you 1% cash back every time you spend $100 and you pay it off because you said you want to have it, you pay it. Sure, pay it with somebody else's credit card, with credit, with American Express's money. And then at the end of the month, go ahead and pay it off. But you just got $1. You spent $1,000. You now have $10. You spent 100,000. You now have $100, or however the math is. 100,000, I think, is more. It's $1,000. So think about that. You're leaving money on the table. Don't go into debt. Don't buy things that you can't afford. Agreed. However, do use credit cards just for the points, if nothing else. The other thing, as far as using credit, it is good to leverage other people's money for certain things. So real estate is a perfect example. If you want to invest in real estate, think about it. You might pay today, the rates have gone up. It's now October 2022. Rates might be at like 6.5% for a mortgage, I believe, somewhere around there. But if you buy this rental property and the price is right, and you can make cash every month as a profit, then it's fine that you're paying interest, right? You don't have to buy that rental property all out cash. Um, Because think about it. I'm not saying worry about what that property is going to be worth in 30 years. Not just that. I invest in real estate with monthly cash flow. So it's got to make money from day one. Bought this condo for 300,000, let's say, and you pay the mortgage, the property taxes, the homeowners association. But with the rent, you're making $300 a month. Great. You're putting $300 in your pocket. Next year, the rent goes up. You're now making $330 a month in profit. And the next year, $360, right? So you keep going up. And then as an added bonus, 30 years later, you're done paying that mortgage and all that money's coming back to you. Like the whole rent mostly is going to you because there's no more mortgage. But what is that property now worth 30 years later? What's that rent at 30 years from now, right? It's not a $2,000 rent. It might be a $8,000 rent 30 years from now with inflation and everything. So that's how people become very wealthy in this world with real estate, but they only become really, really wealthy when they use leverage and when they use the bank's money to do that. So you got to be careful. You have to have monthly cash flow and it's got to make sense. You want to buy a truck for your business. Let's say you don't have the money, but the financing is a really good 4% financing. You might want to consider it because if you're holding back, you may not be growing your business just because you don't want to pay 4% or 5% interest. Do the math and say, okay, this is going to make me an extra $800 a month in my pocket. Sure, I'm paying interest, but who cares if you are making a profit on top of it? Next question is from Jonathan Jean Baptiste. How do I determine what type of life insurance I should have? I'm a residential real estate agent and I'm looking to maximize my money for my future investments. I hear life insurance is a way, but I'm not sure what type will work best for me. Do you view life insurance as an investment vehicle or how do you view it and how do I know if it is appropriate for me? Jonathan, great question. This is one time where I'm going to say don't ask the experts only because the expert in this subject is a life insurance salesperson. And my only problem in taking advice from somebody who's selling me something is that I've been offered things that when I do the math is bad for me, but I find out the commission that person's being offered. Because by the way, with FINRA rules, you can ask that person, what's the commission you make on this package? What's the commission if I buy this one? You can ask them, how much do you earn if I buy this one? How much do you earn? If they don't answer, they're in big trouble with FINRA. I have a friend who's a manager at FINRA, and that's a regulatory body. And so they can't screw you over. And you can see at the end, they've been pushing this one really hard. What's the commission on that one? What's the commission on that? You were pushing the one that you make the most commission on. So be careful with that. I'm not saying they're all like that, but I personally have been affected by it where someone a salesperson was pushing this investment to me and he didn't think I could do math. I'm pretty good at math. And I broke down, it took a bunch of calculations. And at the end, I showed him, if I do what you're telling me, I'm going to lose like $7,000. And he was blown away. Oh, I didn't realize it. He was just trying to earn a commission. So ask people who have life insurance. So there's whole life insurance, and that one's an investment vehicle. From my understanding, I know nothing about this, but I am a customer of insurance, so I know that whole life insurance, you invest in it. It has a death benefit, but it also has an investment value that continues. Over here, you have term life insurance, which is just for a term. It could be a 10-year or 20 years. And then in those 20 years, everything you've paid is gone if you didn't die. But if you die during those 20 years, your family's going to get all this money. It's not an investment vehicle because it goes away. The way I view insurance, life insurance, is I knew when I didn't have a lot of money, I was here. And I knew that one day I was going to build my business and build my income and be all the way up here to the point where I feel like I wouldn't need insurance, right? If I died at this point, my family will have everything taken care of. Colleges may be paid for, houses paid for. There's plenty of money invested. If I die, it's going to leave an emotional hole in the family, but it's not going to leave a financial burden. Also, I happen to live below my means, so it's not like I die and all of a sudden my family is wondering what they're going to do. No, it's all taken care of. So I have term insurance, and the way I did it when I bought it, I told myself this is going to be a bridge between the gap of where I am today and where I'm going to be one day. And now I feel I've gotten to the point where I feel like I can stop paying my life insurance. I pay it. I go ahead and pay it because what if I do die? It'd be nice for my family to get a bonus, right? But that's the way I viewed it. I just needed a bridge. I knew that one day I was going to be already in a position. I know that tomorrow I can get struck by lightning or run over by a car. That could happen to any of us or freak illness. But the odds are in my favor. I take very good care of myself. I don't eat food that could make me sick, and I work out every day. I eat very healthy. All of that. I exercise every day. So my odds are a little bit better. than the average person that might be dying at 70. I think I'm going to live to 95 or 100. So if I wanted to not insure myself anymore, because I've gotten to that point financially where I feel comfortable that I can let it go, then I'm just betting on myself. If the insurance company is willing to bet on myself, and by the way, they'll do blood work and they'll check you to see how healthy you are. If they say, yeah, we're willing to bet on you, you're super healthy, you could think about betting on yourself then and say, I'm going to take that $1,000 or 800 or $500 a year that I'm going to pay and invest it in myself and have that grow. So that's how I view it. Next question is from Cliff Pollard. When it comes to daily and weekly huddles and team meetings, is the process and flow the same for a company of 2 people versus 20? Had a great AO Zoom call about team building, daily huddles, and leadership meeting. We're currently only a team of 2 and are looking at how to run our meetings and if we even need them for our small team. Love the daily huddle AO resource as a start, but just seems like we might need something a little more for our team of 2. Are we overthinking it? Okay, Cliff, the expert that I know in this is someone associated with AO. He's my very good friend, Caesar. Um, Quintero. I actually spent Saturday night with Caesar, and great guy, so passionate about business. He's a great coach, specifically in EOS. So he teaches these huddles and the level 10 meetings that you do once a week and all of that. And I think they are phenomenal to keep a business aligned so that all the arrows in the company, the arrows being the people, are all going in the exact same direction. And you accomplish this with weekly huddles and level 10 meetings every week. The only thing is, with 2 of you, that might be a lot of bureaucracy and a lot of structure for 2 people. The thing at the same time, the other side of that is if you have good structure now, when you have 20 people, it's just natural. You're not having to adjust and grow to that, right? It's like I'm gonna do things wrong all the time, but then when I get to this level, then I'm gonna do them right. No, just do them all right now. But I get it. There's official structure for 2 people. It's kind of silly. If you're sitting next to each other, you're just having a meeting every day. You're talking to each other all the time. So figure out something that works for you, but do keep in mind, one day this is going to be a bigger business. One day there's going to be 10 or 20 of us here. And how do we handle that? Are we preparing ourselves for that? And I'll give you an example that I told some employees yesterday when I was talking to them about, tell me how you do anything, and I'll tell you how you do everything. Right? Because if you're really lazy in some parts of your life, I'm going to question if you're really dedicated and hardworking in other parts. Do everything right as much as you can. And the example that I gave them is when I started my business and it got going and I started getting 20 orders a day on eBay, I would package things a certain way on my desk, right? I had a little desk and a couple of little racks and I would package, and I found the way to package my orders the fastest way possible. And then some days when I was really busy and we had to get going and I needed some help, my wife would come in and help me package some orders. And I'd watch her as I'm packaging, I'm watching her package, and I say, hey, the way you're doing that is a little slower than mine. Do it this way. And she would say, what does it matter? It's 20 orders. We'll be done in a few minutes. And I said, one day, and I thought I was just shooting for the moon. One day we may have 100 orders. And we got to do things the best way possible today so that we're already improving and improving. And then we get to that. Well, some days I've had 1,000 orders now, right? So imagine if I would have allowed for things to be done an average way or a not so good way. Why not do it the best way possible? And then go from there. But I think having said that, you're going to find what works for you guys. If you're in constant communication, there is your huddle. If you're in constant communication and you're following the level 10 EOS structure for a meeting, you could do that anytime. But yeah, you want to kind of professionalize it up as you grow. Next question is from Kimberly Benjamin. How do I determine direct pricing versus wholesale pricing? As a hairstylist, the grammar's not right on this. I products retail direct to clients. So I guess I sell retail direct to clients, and there are products I purchase at wholesale that I would like to turn around and wholesale to other stylists for them to sell. How do I determine what margin should be for me so they can make money selling it to their clients, but I also make a margin? My advantage is I can buy at higher volumes to get better pricing from wholesalers than they get. Okay, so Kimberly, just to avoid falling into a trap, because I coached someone years ago in the pet space that they were selling shampoos and things like that, and they were doing kind of what you're saying. They weren't making very much money on some of these to the point where it was just a waste of time. If you're going to make a couple dollars on a big bottle and it's a lot of work, think about that. Make sure you're making enough money. Now, pricing, you've got to be competitive with the market. You're not in a void. You can't set your own price, right? Because they're going to buy it somewhere else. You got to be a little more attractive than whatever they can get it for. Or you're at the same price, but you can turn it around right away. They order, you ship it that same day. You got to offer them something better than what's out there. So if the price is the same, but you can convince them that, well, with me, the order goes out the same day, whatever. You offer them something better. I like winning that way rather than pricing, because someone can outcompete you on pricing, but it hopefully can't outcompete you on service. That's harder to do. The other thing is, um, and I said this earlier in one of the questions today, it's creating your own products. If you could do that, that's another one. I've coached a hairdresser who has created her own line of products, hair extensions, um, shampoos, all these things for women, and she's crushing it. She really is doing amazingly well because she owns the product. People like that product. Guess what? When that bottle runs out, they're going to need more of it. And if you make a really good product, they're going to keep coming for your stuff. And I don't know if that is any part of your business, if you're doing anything like that, but think about that. What would you rather do? Grow a business selling other people's products that they can cut you out tomorrow. It's happened to me. I built a business that in the US, their sales for the year before I met them was $2,500. That's it. After a few years working together, I was buying over $1 million from them. I was wholesaling it for 2 million, and it was retailing for $4 million in the US. Just a few years after meeting them. So they went from 2,500 to retail sales in their product $4 million in the US. And guess what they did? They cut me out. After years working together, they thought, well, wait a minute, we don't need you. And they started emailing my clients directly. That's a whole story. I can tell you all about it. But it's very dangerous to be selling other people's things just to, because I think that's a way to think small. It is a good way to start, because if you don't have the capital to do it on a big scale, then you start this way, selling other people's things. But keep in mind that the ultimate goal should be to produce your own brand, and let other people worry about them peddling your brand later so they can each make a few points. But it's your brand. They're building this enterprise value. Think about that. It's not just about transactions and making money today, but it's building the value of a business that tomorrow or 30 years from now, you could sell your, Kimberly Benjamin products. And that brand, you sell it to somebody and they give you 20 million, $30 million for the brand, plus all the money you made all these years. And plus you got to build something for yourself. So don't know if that's what you're doing. Just want to throw it out there. When people ask questions in here, it isn't just about answering their question and giving them information. It's for everybody else who's either watching it live right now or who watches these on the replay. Um, think about that. It's a game changer, and it's changed my life having my own brands. Leanna Kolinsky asks, how do I set up overnight shipping for perishable goods on my Shopify site? I have recently built my Shopify site and would like to accommodate clients with the ability to place caviar orders online, perishable seamlessly. We currently ship nationwide using FedEx, but all shipments must be handled by me. I'd like to understand how to use Shopify shipment to give accurate shipping quotes to my clients that would like to order online. So, Leanna, I don't answer technical questions personally because I don't know what buttons to push on Shopify. We do have 14 Shopify Plus websites, but I'm not the technician that pushes the buttons. You could Google it, or you could call Shopify, or go into a Facebook Shopify group, ask that question. You're going to get somebody who knows exactly, oh, yeah, click this, link your FedEx account through API, and they're going to set it all up and all that sort of thing. We do offer overnight shipping with FedEx on our websites. We offer 2-day, we offer, all the different shipping options. And it definitely works, and you definitely want to overnight because of the type of products that you sell. Um, the key here obviously is you have a perishable item. You got to do your part to get it out as fast as possible. I'm imagining you put dry ice in it or something to keep it chilled. But yeah, go on the million Shopify groups that are out there and ask those questions. As far as needing it, absolutely, you should do it, but I don't know the buttons that you got to push. Sorry, I answer questions at a different level. I try not to get into the daily things because I just don't know each daily thing. But Leanna has a good next question too. Should I be sending caviar as a marketing strategy to big names that reach out to me inquiring about caviar? We specialize in black caviar and other exclusive items. Recently, A.J. Dillon, running back for the Green Bay Packers, reached out to us about caviar, but did not go through with ordering. I was wondering if it would be a good idea to send him the caviar as a gift in hopes to earn his trust and gain that relationship with him, similar to how nowadays brands will send influencers and celebrities PR packages in exchange for an Instagram post, TikTok video, etc. So, Leanna, I think your strategy could definitely work, but here's what I would look at. So, A.J. Dillon, he's a running back for the Green Bay Packers. how many people are following him? Are his posts getting a lot of likes? I've never heard his name. I don't know anything about sports, but are people following him and engaging with him? Great. Number two is, who are those people? So here's my guess. I know nothing, but my guess is it's a bunch of guys who are young and into sports, or teenagers who follow athletes. I don't think teenagers are going to buy any caviar from you. I might buy caviar from you. I love caviar, but I don't think that football fans are caviar eaters. I don't. I've been to many Miami Dolphins football games, and tailgating in the parking lot, I've never seen anyone eat caviar. I've seen them eat hot dogs and hamburgers and steak and stuff like that. So I would think about that. Sure, someone has a big name, they're on a platform and they're well known, but who are they reaching? They're probably not reaching your client. Now, somebody who sells Rolexes and posts pictures of them with their Rolex, maybe that's a caviar person type, that would follow them. So think about that. You got to know who your customer is, and then who is your customer following. I think those are the people that you want to build those relationships with. Next question is from, and it's the last question, Rosalie Akloke. How can I become more comfortable networking with wealthy individuals? I own a full service accounting firm, and we help small business owners with all their accounting needs. As I am networking in the community, I have been invited to places that I feel like a fish out of water due to the financial status of the people that are attending. I would like to overcome the imposter syndrome and feel like I belong. Rosalie, this is hard to understand in this world that we live in, because there is a lot of smoke and mirrors out there. Um, so what do I mean? So I go to events where I get to meet a lot of people that appear wealthy, and maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But I can tell you this: I've met a lot of people that appear wealthy on the outside, but when you dig in, and I'm not a financial consultant or anything, but I've seen different things from different people. It's not what it looks like. A lot of people, because of Instagram and Facebook and all this, they are projecting this life that is so unreal. I've been contacted by people who ask me to invest in their business, and from if I were to follow their Instagram or care about physical material things, I would be so impressed and I would think they're the most successful. And then they'll show me their financials on their business they want me to invest in, and it's a mess. They're absolute idiots financially. They've made every wrong decision you can make. But guess what their Instagram looks like? They look like absolute geniuses. They look, oh, look at that car, look at that this, look at all these things. They're financial losers, and they're just projecting an image of that. So once you start thinking that way, you go, oh, who are they? And no one is better than anyone else. And also, a lot of them are full of insecurities. You think you feel a little bit insecure being in a room that you feel like a fish out of water? A lot of them do. And a lot of them are just better at having conversations and feeling comfortable. Now, I think there is an opportunity there if you feel that way, which is very normal. What you're feeling is super normal. Um, it's develop yourself, and my, do with the things that you're doing. I know you're going to Tennessee next month, you mentioned to me. I'm assuming that's for an event with Sean and Accelerators organization. Keep doing things like that. And a big one for me is reading. I do audiobooks, and I'm always listening to an audiobook all the time. So when I get in the car, when I go for a jog, when I go for a walk, I'm listening to an audiobook. Business development, self-development, those sorts of things. When you're about 100 books in, you're going to start becoming another person. One book in, you're going to improve a little bit, but keep doing that. Your level of self-confidence, your level of conversation is going to project, and people are going to start listening because they're going to say, well, this person knows something. And I really believe that comes from books. I didn't read a book until I was an adult. As a kid, you couldn't get me to sit down. I have ADHD. I get so bored. I'd look at a page, I'd read it. I didn't even know what I read because I was thinking of other things. But for me, the secret has been Audible. I listen to audiobooks. I get bored with slow talking, so I speed it up. I've mentioned to you, some of you guys, you think I'm kidding, but I get up to 2.6, 2.7 times speed on a slow version, so I can speed it up fast, and I can listen, and that keeps me super engaged. But highly recommend audiobooks. And if you could, then you'll start surrounding yourself with people who you can share about that, right? The people I'm around, I always can have these conversations. That's usually what they are about. It's like, you know what I just read, and their concepts and their ideas, and they'll share the books that they're reading, and you just start growing as a person. Also, be careful of the people that you're surrounding yourself with. Think of the top five, and think of like, this one really helps me. This person helps me think next level and pushes me in business. This one really helps me stay in better shape because they always do fitness things. This one is, blah blah blah. And think of who's the least important as far as getting you to where you want to get of those 5 people. And then maybe that fifth person has to drop down and become your 10th person. You have to find new people and always load up the top. And I don't mean that people are better than each other or better than, but they're better for you on how they could help you get to the next level. I hope that helps. All right, guys, thanks for being here. And for those that watch it later or now, hope you got something out of it, or hope you will get something out of it when you watch this. Have a great day.